given the ability to re-engineer bodies and brains and minds, then our imagination too is up for grabs. So I can tell you what sapiens like us would like to do with things like bioengineering or direct brain-computer interfaces. They would like to extend their lifespans, to be more healthy, to be more beautiful. But once you change the basic parameters of the human brain and of the human mind, I have absolutely no idea what the new kinds of entities would like to do with these technologies. I mean, so far in history, what we have seen is humans, just like us, changing the world outside them. So they cut down forests, they build bridges, they build factories, all kinds of things. But the real change now is that we are gaining the ability to start re-engineering not the world outside us, but the world inside us, inside the body and the brain. By definition, you don't know where this is leading because you're still stuck with your brain. It's happening on three fronts. There is biological engineering, which is taking the body as we know it, as natural selection shaped it, and basically speeding up natural selection. And we are beginning to see all kinds of interventions on the genetic level, all kinds of interventions
Here he goes.
growing new organs. So this is one front, biological engineering, which is the most conservative because it still stays with the basic building blocks of organisms as we have known them for 4 billion years. The second approach is more radical.
Here he goes.
This is to start combining organic and inorganic stuff.
Yep.
So direct brain-computer interfaces, replacing organic hands with bionic hands, adding to the body a second immune system, which is not organic, but an inorganic immune system made up of millions of tiny nanorobots inside your body that diagnose cancer. But you still, the main command and control center is still your organic brain. The third and most radical way is to completely give up, completely abandon organic stuff and create completely inorganic life forms. Whether this can be done or not is an open question. The biggest open question as yet so far in the life sciences is the question of consciousness. We have no idea what consciousness is, what it does, how it emerges. The common assumption is that somehow the mind, consciousness, emerges from the brain. And if we hack the brain, and if we understand how billions of neurons create subjective experiences, then there should be no barrier for recreating these kinds of experiences based on silicon and not carbon, based on computers and not brain. The next phase is the surveillance going under our skin.
This guy.
Very soon people will walk around with biometric sensors on or even inside their bodies and will allow Google or Facebook or the Chinese government or whoever to constantly monitor what's happening inside my body. The idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. We have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. If I'm a human banker and you're
a human banker.
So I look at your data, and usually I will make a decision on the basis of 3 or 4 salient factors.
Okay, makes sense.
Is able to take into account thousands and thousands of data points, each with a very small weight.
Oh, very small weight.
And if you ask why the algorithm rejected my request for a loan, so the bank can print out millions of pages of data and tell you that's why. The algorithm went over all this and calculated that you are not creditworthy. And our minds just can't understand this type of decision-making.
Here he goes.
And it can be on a personal level.
Okay.
It can also be on the level of an entire country.
Right.
That to decide whether to raise or lower interest rate, for example. It will not be done by a human banker or finance minister. It will be done by an AI. Already today, how many people really understand the financial system? I guess less than 1% of people really understand finance. In 20 years, the number of people who will be able to understand the global financial system will be exactly 0.